Pikmin series can be a little challenging if you don't know what you're doing. However, when I played the side stories in Pikmin 3, I noticed they were extremely easy. So I decided to challenge myself. A big part of the Pikmin series is growing new Pikmin to take on tough opponents. So what happens if we take that part out? Do these easy missions become any harder? Let's find out. Hello Luiginoids, this is LuigiXRules doing my third ever challenge video. If you couldn't tell already, I'm going to show you if you can beat the side stories in Pikmin 3 without growing any new Pikmin. Now, there are a few rules. For one, I have to get a platinum medal on every mission in the side stories. And for two, the Pikmin are not allowed to bring any creatures or pellets back to the onion. Also, this isn't a no death run, so if you lose some Pikmin, it's really not that big of a deal. And I won't be covering missions 9 and 10 if Olimars come back because you can't grow any Pikmin in those missions anyway. Without further ado, let's get started. In general, tasks that require lots of Pikmin are going to be way more time consuming. This is easily noticeable in the first stage, Flower Garden. You should get some Pikmin to build this bridge straight away, as they're going to take a while. In the meantime, you should go across the other bridge and start getting the rock Pikmin to start collecting these gold nuggets. Make sure to defeat those dwarf bulborbs on the way. When there are red Pikmin available, get them on this dirt wall. Then, once the bridge is done, get some Pikmin started on these gold nuggets. Whenever you go anywhere, make sure to clear the path of enemies, but make sure the Pikmin don't start carrying them back. Really though, you don't need a step-by-step walkthrough of what I did in order to complete this level. You get 35 Pikmin, which is more than enough to collect everything in this tiny area. Inside Forest is slightly harder because there are slightly more enemies to defeat, but really there isn't much to say here that wasn't already said. You get 58 Pikmin from the start, so you have way more than enough time to defeat all the creatures, including the Insomnia Bulborb, and take back all of the fruits and gold nuggets in time. For the level simply titled River, I'd recommend grabbing this big fruit immediately so that you don't forget about it later. Then, you should send one of the captains across the river to grab some more Pikmin and take care of some things there while the yellow Pikmin are breaking down this electric gate. Remember to grab everything in the water and take down the Nectarous Dandelion to make your Pikmin faster. Also, leave fruits further from the base for your blue Pikmin. If you do all that, this mission's good as done. Lastly, for Olimar's assignment is Tundra. The big thing to remember for this mission is that it only takes a small group of Pikmin to take down a foe. I'd recommend taking care of everything else before taking on the big challenge of this stage, the body longlegs. You're not going to have a lot of Pikmin for this beast, so make sure you pick up the ultra spicy spray. Remember, you're supposed to have way more Pikmin than you have for this fight, so it's going to take a while, and you're probably going to lose some Pikmin. Other than that though, just remember the far off nugget piles and you'll be golden. Now for the interesting part, Olimar's comeback. We start off with yeah, I think it's safe to say that Pikmin Reunion isn't possible. The next mission, Creature Hunting, is slightly more interesting. Slightly. Well, you don't get many Pikmin to start out with. If you just ignore the Bulborb at the start, you can easily find more in the ground. Try to ignore the Bulbear until you get some Bomb Rocks. Really, though, you're given so many Pikmin and Bomb Rocks in this mission that it's quite easy. Land, Sea, and Sky, on the other hand, is probably the most difficult mission of the challenge. You're only given 29 Pikmin for the start, and half of them are winged Pikmin. What's more, you have to take out an Insomnia Bulborb to get over half of the winged Pikmin. Insomnia Bulborb isn't even the worst part. After that, you have to take on a bug-eyed Crawmad with this few Pikmin, and as far as I can tell, no Ultra Spicy Spray. You'll want to make sure you are very careful, as you can't really afford to lose any Pikmin. Luckily, you're given a lot of time in this mission, so make sure you utilize every second you have. If you do all of that, it is somehow still possible to beat this mission. Just because we're done with the hardest level doesn't mean we're out of the woods yet. First part found isn't the easiest mission in the world either. For some reason, the Pikmin don't take the part through the water, even if there's only blue Pikmin on it, so you'll need to get the bridge on the other side built as soon as possible. You can just get red Pikmin out of this pile of pieces, as they can't get hit by the fiery blowhogs. Then make sure you take care of all of the enemies and walls that are in the way while the part is moving so that you can efficiently retrieve it. Team Monster Hunt is thankfully a bit easier. You need to swap Pikmin between Olimar and Louie so that they defeat the enemies on their sides. If you're unlucky, this puffy blowhog will make your life a pain by not dying. Also, be sure to ignore that pinecone over there, as it serves pretty much no purpose. Really, as long as you're crafty with how you take out the enemies, and remember that there are bomb rocks, this mission is not very difficult. Channel Gone Dry is the next mission, and it's an interesting one. There are plenty of terrifying enemies, but you have plenty of bomb rocks to take care of them with. The real challenge here is getting the Pikmin on the gold piles and bridge pieces fast enough because you don't have a lot of Pikmin to work with. Be sure to watch out for the armored cannon larvae as well. If you do these things, you'll be done with this mission in no time. Looking for Louie is probably the most unique mission, but it's also by far the easiest in my opinion. The only objective is to knock down these 2 walls so that Olimar and Louie can reunite, and you're given plenty of bomb rocks to do so. Just ignore most of the enemies and you'll be golden. Finally, we've got Big Fruit Carnival. The first part is quite annoying, as you have to defeat these dwarf bulbors with wing Pikmin, or you could probably just get them on this pine cone and ignore them. Once this ramp is down like this, throw Louie across so that he can start taking care of things there. Also, to grab more Pikmin, you should throw a captain up to where the hermit crawdads are. While you're up there, remember to pick up the spicy spray. Winged Pikmin aren't very effective in combat. However, when a bunch of them are spicied up, they can take out even some of the tougher enemies. Remember, while there are plenty of enemies to take out, the priority is to bring back all of the heavy fruits. As usual though, you're just given so much time that bringing them back isn't much of an issue. Just remember to not let the Pikmin bring any enemies back to the base and you'll be all set. You can't grow any new Pikmin in missions 9 or 10, so there's no need to talk about them. And I guess that does it for this video. Even with this challenge, most of these side stories are still extremely easy. Still, it's a nice spin, so you should try it sometime. Now, this wasn't actually the original video I was planning. I started with the missions in mission mode, but then I figured I should start out with some easier missions. If this video does well enough, I might make another video on those missions. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to check out more of my challenge videos, they should be on screen now. Until next time, goodbye.